The country of Iran has a very dynamic culture and history, and because of the changes in the cultural practices in the country, Iran is often a very misunderstood country. Hey guys, welcome back to FTD Facts. My name is Leroy Kenton, and I found 10 of the biggest lies and misconceptions about the people of Iran, aka the Persian people. Get ready for this, let's jump right in. Starting at number 10, Iranians are Arabs? Okay, so due to its association with Islam, Iran is often mistakenly considered as an Arab state, but it's not an Arab state, guys. This is often assumed because the names Iran and Iraq are very similar. Iraqis are the ones who are Arabs though, and because both of the countries they practice Islam. But no, Iranians are Persian, so completely different ethnic identity from the Arabs. Similar to number 10, Iranians are often believed to speak the Arabic language, but no, they speak Persian, aka Farsi, and Farsi is an Indo-European language that is more closely related to English than the Scandinavian languages. And if you train your ear, you can definitely start picking up Farsi does not even sound close to Arabic at all. Now the next thing is Iranians are defined by Shia Islam. So of course now Iran is a Shia Muslim majority country, but what many people forget is that Iran was not always a Muslim majority country. Iranians actually have 2,500 years of pre-Islamic culture that really continues to strongly influence the country's identity. Persia, as it was known back then, had an ancient and very powerful history, especially with the rise of King Cyrus the Great, who conquered huge portions of land, and then he eventually created a unified Persia. And you can even find some of King Cyrus's activities in both the Bible as well as other related literature. And of course there were some other great successors after King Cyrus. So their culture, yeah, it goes way back before the days of Islam. Another big lie is that the women in Iran wear all black and are covered from head to toe. So although many women definitely cover up in black, this is actually not the norm. So most women wear modest clothing, yes, of course, with a headscarf that's mandatory in the country, as well as they decorate themselves and wear different types of clothing. Even some clothing looks very similar to what people wear in the West and parts of Europe. Iran has one climate, hot, similar to many Middle Eastern countries. What people think of when they think of Iran is just sand, complete hotness. However, did you know that Iran is one of the few countries in the world that has 4 seasons, and depending on the time of the year and even the region, you can experience all extremes of weather. There's a high season from March to May, and this is where you get a mild spring temperature, and then June and July, they're very hot, and then seasons of autumn, you know, going into September through November, it kind of gets a little chilly and a little cold. Iran is not as cheap as you think. Okay, so people traveling to Iran, they have viewed Iran as a haven where you can see and do everything, all on a very tight budget. However, a lot of people start realizing that Iran is not as cheap as you might think. Things cost some money there. While of course there are things that you can get for cheap just like in any other country, you'll see that you start to spend the same amount of money as you would do in parts of Europe. And you can just Google rich kids of Iran and you'll take a look and see that no, Iran has some expensive stuff. Another big misconception is that Iran is a completely underdeveloped country. Now some people are unfamiliar with Iran to that point where they just think that it's just an archaic country stuck in the past. However, it's actually quite advanced, especially in the fields of modern medicine, technology. There are even some modern buildings that you would never believe are in the country of Iran. So to say people in Iran are living backwards and it's still a developing nation, it's a total big lie. Now this one's a little bit controversial. Women cannot drive, can't vote, can't work. Really? In Iran? Well, you'll be surprised to know that females are very integrated into life in Iran. They also receive a full education. Also, the majority of college students are female, which is pretty interesting because Iran has the highest female to male education enrollment ratio among sovereign nations. And that I did not know. So Iranian women, yeah, very smart and educated people. So is it true that Iranians hate Westerners? Well, yeah, that's a big misconception, especially when you look at the media. This is definitely propagated in TV shows as well. However, this is so far from the truth. Iranians actually love foreigners. Even I have some Iranian friends, and they are some of the most loving people that I know. So although the governments may sometimes be at odds with other governments, Iranians don't actually equate the people of that country to their government. And surprisingly, Iranians are pretty fond of Americans. And the final big lie and misconception about Iran is that Iran is dangerous. Many countries are advising against traveling to Iran, but this is a lot to do because of the diplomatic relationships rather than genuine concern for safety in the country. It's surprising to note that violent crimes against people from different countries are very rare in Iran, and it is a very safe destination for tourists. Of course, there are some areas that are a little bit more prone to crime than others, but you'll find that in any country. But to put that label, that blanket label on the country, it's not a fair assessment of Iran. Well, just like that, this video comes to an end. Those were just only 10 lies and misconceptions about the country of Iran. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. So that's how it goes down here on FTD Facts. We like to just educate people about the world and help to highlight different cultures so that we can understand each other, so that peace, love, and harmony can just crush that negativity. You know what I'm saying?